I don't think people truly appreciate just how stupid, as a collective, the Republicans in Washington, D.C. really are. Rick Scott, Republican senator from, of course, my state of Florida here, put forward a couple weeks ago his agenda, an 11-point agenda, against the wishes of Mitch McConnell, who said, we're not running on any platform, we're just going to talk about how much the Democrats are hurting the country. Well, Rick Scott said, absolutely not, we need an agenda. So he puts out this agenda, and once people look at it, they realize, wait a minute, this has a pretty significant tax increase on the lowest income earners here in America. And Rick Scott said, well, I think everybody needs to pay something, right? Everybody has to pay some taxes to, as he put it, have skin in the game. So, if you're not paying taxes, you don't get to complain about anything here in the United States, which, of course, is a typical Republican talking point that is a total myth. Low-income people pay taxes. When they get their paychecks, taxes are taken out of them. It's just that when they go to file their taxes, because they make so little, they get the refunds. Okay, they're still paying taxes. The federal government's just holding on to that money. They don't get to spend it until the following year. So they still paid in, and of course, a lot of them pay in more and at a higher rate than some of the richest people in this country do. So Rick Scott puts out this plan. The bottom 40% of Americans would see their taxes increase by about $1,000 per year, which if you've ever been in that income bracket, I have, that is a hell of a lot of money to see coming out of your paycheck every week or 2 weeks or month, whatever you get paid. It's horrible. And Rick Scott, to this day, is still facing incredible backlash along with the rest of the Republican Party now for putting out such an incredibly stupid plan. I don't know that anybody has ever successfully run for office on the platform of, I'm going to raise taxes on poor people. If you know of anybody that has, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I would love to know how they actually managed to successfully say, I'm going to punish poor people. I'm going to take more money away from them and still win an election. So, of course, what is happening now? Because, again, this came out weeks ago. We've known this. The Republican Party is in full-blown panic mode. They're trying to undo the damage that Rick Scott caused their party. This was a completely unforced error that Rick Scott single-handedly committed because his arrogance told him he was smarter than Mitch McConnell. And as much as I hate Mitch McConnell, as evil as that son of a bitch is, he is smart. Okay, he knows how to do politics. Rick Scott does not. Rick Scott has the benefit of having all the money in the world to be able to run successful campaigns. If Rick Scott didn't have the money, he would never have won the governorship of Florida. He never would have become our senator after serving 2 terms as governor. He'd be a nobody from Nowheresville that may have ended up in prison. But the money kept him safe. And he thinks that money can continue to protect him. And probably here in Florida, it will. But guess what? Florida's not the only state that has Republicans running for Senate this year. In fact, you have twice as many Republicans running for Senate this year than you do Democrats. And now that you've let this little agenda out there into the ether, Democrats are pouncing on it. Democrats are using it in fundraising, and of course, they're raising a lot of money from it because the Republican Party has been exposed. They don't want rich people to pay taxes. They don't want corporations to pay taxes. But when it comes time for somebody to write those checks to the IRS, they have no problem making the poorest people in this country foot the bill for the United States. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.